Didn't see you there. Anyways, welcome back to This Won't Last Call. So, doing another episode today. Today I figured I'd go ahead and stick with a kind of a wintry theme. Being as it's a bit cold outside here in sunny Florida, I think it even dipped below 60 degrees. We're going to go ahead and do a couple of different hot beverages, because we're up to that hot beverage shit. We're going to do three different ones. We're going to do the hot toddy, nice and easy. Then we'll do the Irish coffee, a little bit more complicated, but still fairly easy. Then we're going to do the hot buttered rum. I'm going to do a simple version of that, but there's a super complicated one where you actually take all the ingredients, mix them in a saucepan. Never had a hot buttered rum before. Never had a hot toddy before. Had plenty of Irish coffees, but I'm going to do a twist on my own Irish coffee. Anyways, so let's get started, and let's make the hot toddy first, since it's real easy peasy lemon squeezy. Speaking of lemon squeezy, it does include lemon. Anyways, so you're going to go ahead, you're going to heat up some water. It's going to take a while. Anyways, so the ingredients are honey, bourbon, or whiskey, and lemon juice. I think our water's hot enough right now. I may or may not have heated it up beforehand. So, calls for about 2 to 3 teaspoons of honey. I don't know if I really want to measure that out. I guess I could use my handy dandy guitar teaspoons. But 2 to 3 teaspoons. 2, 3. Alrighty. There's 3 teaspoons. Put it in a mug, directly in the mug. No shaker involved in this. Then we're going to do the same thing with the lemon juice. I'm going to use the same spoon, hoping that maybe it'll get a bit of the honey off of there. Anyways, might not be precise as I'd like it, but it doesn't have to be. It's to taste anyways. We're going to add our bourbon. Calls for 1.5 ounces, but as per usual, you do you, boo. This is Old Forester bottled and bond. Just recently got into bonded whiskey, and it's pretty damn tasty. A little bit sweeter, a little bit more spicy. Not quite as spicy as like a rye, but pretty close. 1.5 ounces. So, bonded bourbon, I guess, is, so it's made in a style that is from before the passage of the Bottled and Bond Act of 1897. I guess there was a specific style of bourbon, the way that they did it. This one's 100 proof, by the way, a little bit higher. And it's reminiscent of that. Quite tasty. I did look into it a little bit, but I didn't really memorize it enough, because I very rarely, if ever, do any kind of research for these shows. Anyways, after that, you're going to put your hot water in. It calls for 3/4 cup, but however much you like. If you want a stronger drink, use less. If you want a weaker drink, use more. So, just stir, stir, stir. I want to make sure that the honey gets totally dissolved. Basically like a tea. Pretty tasty. Anyways, I mean, that's pretty much it. You can garnish it with a lemon wheel, and it suggests a cinnamon stick. I imagine you could toss a bit of cinnamon in there if you wanted it, but it's a pretty straightforward drink. Just hot water and lemon juice and bourbon, and that is delicious. I mean, it seems like that'd be a pretty hard one to screw up. I like bourbon, but I reckon you could probably make the exact same drink with varying liquors. You could probably do a rum one, maybe substitute the honey for doing raw sugar or something like that, or even leave in the honey. It's totally fine, and then maybe use lime juice instead of lemon juice. But it's quite tasty. Yeah. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be tasty. It's basically, you know, like a whiskey sour, but hot. And without sugar, you use honey. There's another drink. What's it called? I think it's called Gold Rush, where it's a whiskey with honey syrup and lemon juice. And it's basically the exact same thing, but cold. But quite tasty. Highly recommend. Do check it out. Yeah, anyways. On to the next one. Okay, so now that we're done doing hot toddy shit, we're gonna do hot boyo shit and make an Irish coffee. Anyways, so Irish coffee is a pretty simple thing. Typically it's made with coffee, brown sugar, whiskey, and heavy cream, and you whip it up and you put it on top. So you mix the other three and you put the whipping cream on top. And I'm not gonna do that because I don't feel like whipping a bunch of cream. Plus I have a different way I want to do it, which involves using Irish cream, which really is just mixing the Irish cream in there instead of the whipping cream. I'm not a huge fan of like the froth, although I do like whipped cream on my hot cocoa. I'm not a huge fan of it in my coffee. Plus I did get this very interesting Irish cream from, of all places, Walmart liquor, but it's called Five Farms from County Cork, Ireland. Single batch Irish cream liqueur. I already tasted it. It tastes delicious, although it's low ABV. It's only 17%, but it's quite tasty. So I'm gonna use it in there. And look at how cool this is. It's in like an old milk jug thing. It's awesome. Anyways, without further ado, get your coffee, which I totally didn't make off screen already. French press. Anyways, only made a little bit of it. I don't know why I grabbed that. It's actually the last ingredient. So I'm going to use, instead of brown sugar, I'm going to use demerara sugar, just because I have it on hand, and it's quite delicious. Calls for a tablespoon, so I'm just going to use a regular spoon. And it's actually not demerara, it's turbinado. What the difference is, I don't know. You look it up. That's a heaping tablespoon. Next calls for 1.5 ounces of whiskey, bourbon, whatever. We're going to go with our bottled and bond. Alright, that's the last of it. Exactly 1.5 ounces. I guess that's what happens when you measure out your stuff. Anyways, I do recommend this Old Forester bottled and bond. It was very delicious. Like, I've had Old Forester numerous times before. It used to be one of my go-to just mixers, just Coke and whiskey. That used to be my taste, but this stuff is quite delicious. Significantly better profile than the regular Old Forester has. Regular Old Forester is a little scratchy. This stuff is actually quite smooth and delicious and sweet. So give it a try. Anyways, all right, next, do your coffee. A cup. So I'm not going to be that close to it, obviously. If you want it stronger, use less. If you want it weaker, use more. It's late at night, so I don't want that much coffee. Give it a stir. Just to dissolve up that sugar before you put in the Irish cream. Now, normally there is an actual glass to serve this in. There's an Irish coffee mug that has a little bit of a curvaceousness to it. It's kind of neat and cool and all fun stuff. I don't have one. Probably not going to go out and buy one. Not until I actually make money on these videos, which I don't. So, like, share, subscribe, and I'll buy some Irish coffee mugs. All that being said, I really don't drink Irish coffees that much anyways. Or, you know, instead of liking, sharing, and subscribing, you could visit my Patreon or my OnlyFans and, you know, do it that way. I don't have either one of those things. Or do I? Alright, so let's do an ounce. There's no specific one. This is kind of my personal favorite. Or more, 1 ounce-ish. Mix it all up. Steve the bartender always smiles at me as it's shaking, so I'm going to do that when I'm doing my stirring. Am I doing the same as him? He too has a beard. I think all the YouTube bartenders have beards. Ooh, that smells delicious. Honestly, something about this Irish cream is amazing. And the bottled and bond whiskey, oh my god, so good. And I used Javalia French Roast, which is one of my favorite coffees. Not that I know much about coffee either. I think it's going to be delicious. Oh my god, that is spectacular. This is a wonderful recipe. You must try it. It's rich, but it's also kind of caramelly, very toffee flavored. Wow, that Irish cream is like, tastes like fresh cream. Like it's delicious. So my ratio is probably a little strong for most people. You may want to, maybe do just an ounce of whiskey instead of an ounce and a half. But that is phenomenal. Ooh, that's dangerous. I love that. Alright, so this is a winner. I mean, Irish coffee is hard to screw up. And again, you can do it the traditional way and just use heavy cream, whip it up, put it on top. That's fine. I'm a lazy guy, but also I feel like this makes it taste just a little bit better. I don't know how we'll do with Bailey's, but that stuff's good. Anywho, on to the last one, on to the hot butter rum. I've never done a hot butter rum before. Had to look it up. I'm going to do the simple recipe, which is where you actually add the butter to a glass, muddle the spices, and then pour on the hot water and the rum. But there are other recipes where you actually, melt the butter in a saucepan, add your spices, mix it up so that it's nice and combined, and then refrigerate it so it solidifies, and then you add this stuff after it solidifies. That's a lot of work, and I do these videos in like 20 minutes tops. Spend more time editing them than I do recording them. Quite delicious. So one of these days, I don't know if it's going to be on this video, but I'm going to come out with a theme song that I composed myself. So be gentle, it's my first time. But I got something I put together that sounds really fun and weird and very much up my alley. So hopefully when I put it out there, you guys will like it. So look forward to that in the future. Alright, so we go from doing hot boil shit to hot buttered shit. Hot buttered shite. Anyways, this is the hot buttered rum. I'm all out of bottled and bond bourbon, any kind of whiskey. So we're gonna switch it up to some rum. I've been wanting to try this for a while. I've seen it on the interwebs, a bunch of different people doing it. Want to know what it's all about. About to find out. About to fuck around and find out. Anyways, so this recipe is a little bit more complicated, and in some cases a little bit less complicated than others. I'm going for the easy way. I'm not going to go for the complicated way. The complicated way involves melting butter, combining spices, cooling it down, etc. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to put the stuff in the bottom of a mug, muddle it, and then pour the hot water and rum on top. So, starting out, get your mug. We do a teaspoon of brown sugar. I like to do it over the mug so it's a heaping teaspoon. Sorry, tisp. Teaspoon of brown sugar. Again, using the turbinado. Turbinado, not technically brown sugar. Brown sugar is much more finely granulated, and I believe there's an extra step of the processing. But turbinado still tastes pretty much like it. Very close. It's kind of a step between Demerara and brown sugar, and it has a delicious toffee flavor to it. It's nice. Give it a shot sometime. Spices, so cinnamon, a dash, might have been a healthy dash of nutmeg, a dash of allspice, allspice. The little known sticks spice root. Anyways, we're getting down to the last of our vanilla extract from our coquito, because I've used it in my coffee. I like it in my coffee. But splash of vanilla extract. These are all very technical measurements, obviously, but it's to taste. I mean, you'd have to be pretty proficient with spices to be able to be like, I need a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, or just know your own personal flavor taste, anyways. But put all those things into the glass. Add your butter. 1 tablespoon of butter. It's nice to have the demarcations on there for where a tablespoon is, but I mean, I'm using a spoon, so it wasn't the most accurate measurement. So you're gonna muddle that. Really, it's just mixing it. It's just mixing it, so rather than using the spiky end of my muddler, I'm gonna use the blunt end. Alright, so this is very, very well blended. It is just like an absolute paste right now. So after you got all that taken care of, then you're gonna add your rum. I'm using the Totally Not Cracking Jonah's Curse Black Spice Rum. Black Spice Rum. You use whatever rum you want. I think it calls for dark rum in most cases. All I've got right now is white rum and gold rum and black spice rum. So I'm gonna use black spice rum. Same thing I use in the coquito. Turned out pretty well. Took it to a party. People loved it. This should probably be pretty close in consideration. Anyways, 2 ounces. Okay, so you add that. You get totally pre-boiled water. Now, this recipe calls for 5 ounces of hot water. I don't know how much that is. I guess it's like a not even full cup. Anyways, whatever works for you. But 5 ounces for this particular recipe. I'm using it to actually wash off the muddler as well. So allegedly you can just drink it like that. We ain't gonna do that. We're gonna stir it. You probably want to stir around until that butter gets totally dissolved. Which will probably depend on how hot your water is. My water's not that hot. Tastes delicious though, so far. Alright. Again, about to fuck around and find out. Look kind of neat. It's all swirly and stuff right now. Yeah. So, cheers. That's quite pleasant. It's like a thin eggnog. Not gonna lie, that's actually a wonderful surprise. I like eggnog, but eggnog is way too thick and way too, like, I like the savoriness of it, like the fact that it's very, cleans to your palate a bit, but at the same time, it's very heavy. It sits in your stomach, coats your, I know it's kind of redundant to say, I like that it cleans to your palate, but I also don't like the fact that it coats your mouth, to where even when the taste is gone, you can still feel it. So this actually seems to be kind of like a happy middle ground with that. Admittedly, it being hot plays a little bit of different on my palate. Immediately when it brought it up to my face, I could kind of feel the heat, not only from the hot water, but also from the alcohol itself. Maybe it was just kind of evaporating into my face at the time. So that was interesting. I mean, it's hard for this to be bad. This butter and water and spices and booze. This is actually quite delicious. I would love to try the actual recipe. And apparently there are other ones where you don't use allspice, but rather you use anise. Could be interesting. Don't know if I'll ever do it. Maybe if I have company, which I rarely ever have. Nobody loves me. It's okay. I've got you. You love me. You like... It's okay. I've got you. You like subscribe. I can't even do it with a straight face. Sorry. Anyways, like, subscribe. You like, subscribe, and share. See, now I'm just drunk. Anyways, like, subscribe, and share, and comment, because we love to hear the comments. So watch the podcast as well. It's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The podcast itself is on Podbean and Spotify and iTunes and a bunch of other places. Just Google This Won't Last Podcast. And if you like this series, This Won't Last Call, watch it on YouTube. Eventually I'll get it onto IGTV. And one of these days I'm going to have my own intro. It'll be for this video if you want. So, also, check out the partnership we have with Bright Swimwear. I think that's still going on. Don't know. I don't think anybody checked on it. But it's brightswimwear.com. They make luxury swimwear for the every person. And if you go to brightswimwear.com and use the code TWL25, you get 25% off your order. So check out brightswimwear.com, TWL25. Don't drink too many buttered rums though. You probably won't fit into your swimsuit. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.